So last time you'd still been preparing for your voyage around the town. You managed to talk Aeza into uh, proffering the services quite cheaply of his submachine to get out to the site where you need to go. You'd also all managed to deal with the issues of breathing underwater and operating underwater in your own ways. Some of you through buying armor and weapons and rebreathers, while Elendar managed to get basically a Coke can full of bubbling, frothing something from the almighty Frund.
Front.
He also managed to get some whaleboat blubber to protect himself against the pressures and the heat of the deep, which sounds tasty. So yeah, you're in town. You've made most of your preparations. You can set off whenever you like, or if you've got more preparation that you'd like to do,
Well, there's literally
go right
nothing else I
ahead.
can buy, so I'm at zero shins now. So unless I want to sell something, which I probably don't.
I
Yeah,
forget.
being skint doesn't help.
Yeah.
The red bauble ring that we found that apparently belonged to Kagan. What exactly did he say that did again? Was some sort of locator beacon or something?
Yeah, it's got a proximity sensor to the site that you'd locked in. So what that'll do is that'll help you determine as you get closer as a guidance system. He also provided you with the map
The ocean floor.
of the ocean floor from his scanning equipment. He's downloaded that onto a small little thing that'll interface with the ring. But that'll help you navigate your way there. It'll get you in proximity.
I can't really think of anything else to deal with. I have no money either.
Fair enough. So you'd like to head off?
Mhm.
Okay. So after making your final arrangements and discussing the terms with IASO, you stay another night and then set off at a pre-dawn sail while the oceans are still still around Bion Bay. And as you head out, the submarine is moving across the top of the water. Even though you're inside, it's like as I said, it's in like a sealed, transparent canopy as it begins sailing across the ocean. You can't, Scrappy, you're sort of looking at it and how it's propelled. It appears that there's some sort of energy source in the back half of the ship that's that propels it forward using some sort of jet, like water jet thruster. You think that if the submachine was underwater, it would be quite nimble. As it is along the top, it seems to be making a decent clip. The crew is all Red Fleet sailors, so you've now spent a bit of time around. You recognise you recognise the first mate and also the one who warned you not to mention Captain Strytney.
Yep.
And you also start sort of get to know the crew as they go around. It's a crew of 5, so that's Ieza, of course, and his first mate, and three other hands. And they begin to sort of begin to journey out on the sea. They're all experienced seafarers. One of the hands is a little bit green, but still has been with them for a couple of voyages. And you sail out. So while you're aboard the ship, how are you going to spend your time?
I'm going to spend time with the maintenance crew that looks after the engines, just
Hmm.
to get my engineering skill up to specialized, hopefully, with that. Basically, just learning what I can from them and sort of just bouncing ideas back and forth with them and how they can improve it.
Sure. Well, you have been here on the ship for you know, a sort of day or two, and you're hanging out with the crew. There's one of the hands that is a veteran of the ocean, and he's worked on any number of ships before coming to work for IASA. And as you talk to him about engine repair and discuss some of the jury rigs he's made and some of the principles that he uses to keep these ships running, you feel that your understanding of the whole, the understanding of how they engineer these ships and how they, how it all works, just seems to something just seems to click, and you find yourself noticing things about the way it's built that you'd
Hmm.
never noticed before, that make you, feel like you've reached a deeper level of understanding. Of course, you won't know until you put it into action, but it just feels right based on what you already know. Bikes, what are you doing while the ship's sailing forward?
At least half a day is dedicated to running back and forth, yelling axe, just getting practice in. Uh,
So you've made your way to the top of the submachine where there's a bit more of open space, and after you tried it for the first after you tried it for the first day running around inside the submachine, IASA had had enough of your shit and exiled you to the top if you're going to continue to do that.
which is fair
While
enough.
you're on while you're up on the top, I'll get you to make a speed roll. Difficulty 4.
Sounds dangerous. I'm going to put a... helps if I don't mute myself halfway through speaking. I'm going to put a point of effort into it.
Yes, make sure you don't run overboard. Oh my god, he ran a
Okay,
20.
There you go.
A 20, wow.
Okay, so as you run around up on top of the submarine, you notice that as it sort of goes up the waves and up and down, and it sort of rocks and it moves around, and you practice your jumping up onto the con of the submarine. You feel yourself, for maybe the first time in your life, really getting sea legs. You think, as a thing from Elendar, who's shortly to get actual sea legs, you feel that you feel that you've got the lay of the ship. So I'm actually going to give you an asset. Because you're now so practiced at moving around on surfaces, uh, you'll be able to make speed rolls easier on the onboard ships while you're in this area, just because you've got the sway of it down.
Yes.
So that's an asset in your favour.
Nice.
Because you've just you've worked out the feel of the roll and the yaw of the vessels as you go.
So if we get boarded, awesome.
Eleanor, what do you do?
Um, well, I know Aiza is pretty much a fairly boastful captain from that one time I met him in the tavern. What was the name of the ship?
Uh, the ship is the Deshan.
Deshund.
Just the Deshan, Deschhn.
CHN. Cool.
Iaza explained to you that Deshan was his great lady love from when he was a lad, although you get the feeling from the stories and from the first mate's look as he described that to you that it's another one in Iaza's long line of failed relationships, including Strychnine.
Yeah, well, to pass the time, considering I think from what Kagan said, we needed to travel out like 5 days or so. just to sort of pass the time, I sort of ask the crew like, what stories have they been to? Like, what tales can they tell me of their travels on the high sea? Considering IAs was saying like one time they went like to this mystery island, sort of Indiana Jones-esque, stole an idol from a native tribe or something like that. I want to hear more of that.
Sure. So you get talking to the crew, and they've got a number of tales. There's one that tells you about a journey that they made a couple of years ago out to the Racecool Keys. Now, the Racecool Keys is something that you've heard mentioned, but it's not really talked about in. You've heard it as all you know about it is that it's somewhere far off, and you hear one of the first mate who everyone sort of seems to call Storchy, and Storchy tells you that years ago he travelled to the island of Dunali, which is one of the islands within the Keys. And he said that the people there had an odd language that he'd started to pick up and discussed. And while he'd there, he told you about something called the Slavering Falls. Now, the Slavering Falls, as strange as it may seem, are an underwater waterfall. In the centre of the Slavering Keys, there is basically an area within the centre of this chain of islands that is a circular structure that the ocean around it seems to flow into, and all the silt, everything seems to flow into. And he said, he was there to observe the Slavering Keys. Apparently, every year, the fall of water and silt into this depressed area within the ocean stops, and a structure begins to rise out of the centre. And the Slavering Falls suddenly turns into a crystalline palace, or some sort of crystalline area that the locals sort of worshipped and used as they would pray to it for good luck. And the once a year when it rose above the surface, that people would go over to it and explore it for treasures. The once a year when it rises is not on a regular schedule. There are various auguries around the island and soothsayers and fortune tellers who all use their own methods of prediction about when the Slavering Falls will be still. And the structure rises up, and it's suddenly on for plunder and treasure. Anything that washes up within it or is caught there in the usual fall into the ocean. And one of the times that was there, he was there for it was on one of these plunder crews. And the structure of the falls had come out of the water, and they'd made their way onto it and penetrated deeper into it than anyone had ever before. It was a Red Fleet crew. And he says to you that there are many soothsayers who predict when the Slavering Falls are going to try and rise out of the ocean. But there's something that none of the soothsayers ever tell you. And that's when this structure goes back into the ocean. When it goes back into the ocean, you have to run as fast as you can, otherwise you'll be trapped within it forever. And put it this way, I'm not going to try and survive down there for up to a year. Anyway, we had my crew, the extraction crew. We were deep inside. We'd made our way down with ropes and torches and, made a pretty good haul until the whole structure started rumbling. And once it rumbled, we knew that we had to run. And of course, that was the time that the winch that we were using chose to jam. So in the end, I had to use one of the weapons I'd been provided to chip areas out of the walls, and the walls were healing up behind me. I had to chip handholds out for the entire crew to climb up on. It's lucky that I'd spent a time climbing around the rigging when I was a lad, that we were all managed to make it out alive, albeit a little bit damp and a little bit worse for wear. My advice is if you ever visit the Slavering Falls, go at the start of the season and don't trust a single thing that any of those auguries say. They're all wrong. And I also advise this. If you do penetrate the depths of it, don't read any of the writing.
I'm
With
sure
that,
I
he
will. Yeah,
with that he
I was.
sort of gets 1,000 yard stare to and sort of is lost in his memory for a moment as he recalls it.
Well, that was very interesting. Thank you for sharing your story. Um, I'm going to let you be for a moment. I'll be over there somewhere.
It's a small submachine, and you try and sort of move away from where he was, and while he's still sort of looking in 1,000 yard stare. And it's kind of awkward for a second as he sort of notices that you're still sort of regarding him where before he seems to brighten up and starts barking orders at the rest of the crew. So you've been sailing for 2 days out in the ocean, and you're sort of getting, Blargs has been running up on the upper deck for a good chunk of it. But you're now sort of getting into the sway of ocean life when the people, one of the crew members who's been sort of acting as a lookout at various times at the con, sort of whistles down below and calls Iaza up to look. Iaza moves up to has moved up to the sort of bridge area within the submachine, and he's pulls out, he sort of looks in the distance and looks at the sensors for a second before climbing up to the top and pulling out what looks like a brass telescope. It's like quite an old-fashioned manufactured item by the Ninth World standard. And he pulls it out and holds it to his eye and looks at the distance before yelling down at the bottom, "Drummels! Jacals!" Now, some of you have heard of Jacals before. The Jacals are a sort of crew of sort of fighting things that live on the ocean. Sorry, I'm just finding my page with them. They're a faction that have survived on the ocean for a long time. And known as being kidnappers and pirates. And what you remember about them from the stories, Elendar, that you heard back at the academy is they are kind of like surgery addicts, and they perform surgeries and use unstable genetic implants on themselves. Nothing like the, I'm sure, quite legitimate one you got from Frund. But they use, and they've been known to kidnap. They've been known to kidnap scholars and people, both on land and on sea, but mainly sea, on the sea out here. Iaza looks in the distance and says, and looks and he goes, "We're not going to be able to dive to escape them. They're closing in too fast, and I've been known them to drop depth charges and attack us. We're gonna have to fend them off. You gentlemen, are you ready to? Are you prepared to fight out here on the ocean?
Axe!
Aye, lad. That's certainly what we'd be looking to use.
I'm ready.
I'm not really there, am I? Because I'm still down at the engines.
Well, he's called down and sort of called to the crew, so you're not not
Okay.
too far off.
Yeah, I'll join everyone up top then.
Okay, so you move up to the top of the up to the top of the submachine. Where's my little page thing? There it is. That's not the right page. That's the right page. Okay, so you move up to the top of the submachine. This is the con where you've all emerged. It's like a slight raised area. Blargs, you've been running laps of this. Actually, it's a bit long. It's a bit bigger than that. About sort of that big. That's better. And it's sort of ovoid, as you can see, and so you've all come out. If this does what I expect it to do. Sorry, I'm trying to drop your tokens on the thing. And it's not doing it for me. Oh, there's one.
Yep.
Anyway, you're out on the top here as you see the Jackal vessel approach. It's the boat's not huge, but it is fast. It's some sort of skiff. It's got what looks like a rigging for a sail, except instead of a sail, it's got like a curved arc of energy that seems to be capturing the wind as well as some propulsion back in the ocean. But the whole thing is quite sort of ramshackle and stitched together. It looks like it's been cobbled together with some out of various parts, but it also looks like it's been done with care. Sorry, I'll just get you a picture of a Jackal. Just give me a sec. So the that's not gonna work. I'll drop one in. So the Jackals are approached, and you hear them sort of shouting war cries as they approach in a pidgin language that none of you can really understand. Except you notice that the first mate gets quite antsy. He's starting to recognise it, as part of the language of the ocean. And he says they're trying to communicate with us and tell us that they want any scholars, tinkerers, surgeons, and anyone who could work machinery or the human era to come with them. The engineer that you've been spending time with, Scrapper, just says, "You're not going to let them take me, are you?"
Definitely not. Me and Zipper Heel got you covered. You just stay below.
And Scrapper, you're probably the other person that they're super interested in.
Oh yeah, they'll have to get past Zipper first.
Hold
While
on,
I'm
wait.
shooting at them.
It was Storchy, right? Storchy was the first mate.
Storchy was the first mate.
So wait, why do they want these people? Not that no offense to everyone. No offense to you guys, of course, but it seems kind of odd.
Storchy, looks like, sorry, that's your old picture there.
Meh.
Like,
It's all good.
Oh my god, he's back! He's stuck on the ship.
suddenly he swoops in from nowhere, and Storchy says, "Well, the Jackals, you see what their ships look like. Now their bodies are just the same, and they've got all these mechanical bits and pieces that they experiment on themselves with. You know, anything that they do to their ships, they've done 10 times worse to our body, and that takes a lot of people to keep running. That's what they're after, is after people to help them make their ships." And the boat, you see that boat pull closer down the bottom here. And as they get close, you can see a couple of the jackals on the surface. Now, as they approach, you can see that you know, they've all got some sort of, you know, grafted stuff. Some of them, one of them's got sort of a large jaw and, you know, fangs implanted, and, you know, has claws on the back of his hand. One of them has sort of hooks that curve over the back of his arms, and he's sort of this prehensile tongue that keeps, you know, he keeps it darting out of his mouth. Whereas the third, there's something cat-like about him. You know, he's just very sort of agile as he sort of moves with the waves back and forward. Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to find one more. But the one that really catches your attention and appears to be some sort of where are we? Yeah, that's probably closest, although it's not quite right. There is one that has wings. You notice as it this one has wings grafted on the back, and you see Storchy sort of has an intake of breath, and you see Iaza do the same thing as well as they see as this winged one comes into sight. Storchy says, "And Alaska. Alaskas are their leaders. You know, it's said to be an honor in Jekyll culture to get the wings implanted. You see how it's got the wings? That means that one's a particularly fierce warrior."
Are these implanted with power sources, or are they just strictly crude?
The ship?
Just the ship and the crew that they've got their adaptations of. Like, are they like powered adaptations, or are they just strictly just metal on skin sort of thing?
They look like metal on skin more than anything. They look like they're, you know, grafted on rather than like mechanized on in any way. You know, they don't have any obvious sort of cyborg parts like robotic parts. They look more like it looks like it's more a brute force thing that they've been strapped down and grafted to.
Okay.
So as they come close, they keep barking in you know, in that language that Storchy seems to recognize. And he says, "They're still after any technological people who can help them with their grafts and with their ships. They've also given us an ultimatum that if we don't turn any technology over, they're going to bore and slay us all."
That's not much of an ultimatum, is it?
Nope.
Okay, so Iaza's not also not inclined to let them do so. So, and they've all sort of piled out on board. But the captain's kept some of his crew below just because there's a Now there's Iasa, and there's his. It's just Storchy and Iasa on the top with you. As the jackals begin to snarl and yell and get ready to board you. So I'll get you all to do a speed roll as an initiative roll.
And out of curiosity, are we starting this sort of thing when they pull up beside us, or just before they do that?
Just before they do.
Says the guy trained in jumping. I mean,
Board my ship, I'll board your ship.
He just jumps on the ship.
Uh-oh. Bah.
Oh!
Okay, so
That's unfortunate.
they actually get the one with the wings gets the jump on you, Blargs. So the Araska is going to sort of takes off into the skies over the ship and starts hovering out here. You can see as it hovers, it actually it's hovered up with a spear in either hand, and it sort of throws one at Iasa as a sort of first action. Iasa with it has a saber drawn, and as the spear comes down, he sort of swats it aside with the blunt side of his saber and deflects it and looks up and goes, "You'll have to do better than that." So Blargs, it's now your turn.
sorry. So roughly how far is it across this gap? Is it jumpable distance? Asking for a friend that is me.
Okay, so it's a big jump, but you've been spending lots of time on the surfaces of ships. You're also very skilled at it. So most of the time for Scrapper or Elendar, it would probably be a difficulty 6 jump. But with your skills and everything, you'll be able to bring that down. So with the asset, because you've been spending so much time on board the ship, that brings it down to difficulty 5. And with your skill in jumping, is it specialised in jumping or just a skill in?
It's the upgraded form, so specialised.
Specialised in jumping. Okay, so that brings it down to a difficulty 3 to make the distance.
Oh my god!
This is the best, worst idea in the world.
And this
Yeah, is
gap
this the
what,
whole you getting you back on the ship afterwards?
Is this whole thing basically like a 15-meter jump? Is Blark's about to set like a long jump world record?
Well, he's going to launch himself a little bit and probably have to use the con tower to make it, but it's going to be a pretty impressive jump. Like, you get the sense that this is the kind of jump that will crop up again in one of Storchy's tales one day.
Assuming it's successful.
Assuming it's successful.
Alright, I'm going to put a point of effort into it.
Difficulty 2.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
That's what experience is for.
Come on, experience.
Actually, yeah, that's what experience is for. I will re-roll that.
3. Oh my
Okay.
god! Please be a bit.
You have more
5.
experience, don't you?
I've learned before from re-rolling multiple times, nope, I'm just going to fail this and hope that I can swim.
Okay, so
Oh
that's
no!
exactly so I will intrude there. So you sort of jump, and it looks good for a second, but about halfway through the jump, you realise that you're going to run out of oomph. So you're in. So you've sailed through the air. You're now in the water, and as luck would have it, and this is the intrusion part. As luck would have it, you're near a part of the ship that is really hard to climb. So for you to climb back up on this ship, if you want to climb on their ship, because of where you are and because of sort of where you've landed in relation to it, it's going to be for you to get back up on the ship, and because of where you are in the water, it's going to be 2 steps more difficult than it would have been otherwise to get back on top.
God.
Brilliant.
So that's 1 XP for you and 1 to give to someone else.
I'll give it to Elendar.
Yeah. He's
Since
better than you do.
He's got less overall.
Yeah, he
I'm
does.
fine.
Well, yeah, just to get you catching up is a good idea.
So
I
this
spent XP to get tentacle legs.
this jackal here is going to he's got a sort of what looks like a grapple, and you see him spin it and hurl it forward onto one of the metal parts on top of the ship. And you see as it comes closer, it doesn't actually have like a traditional grapple on top of it. It's got a magnetic. It's got like an electromagnet on the end of it. So as it goes halfway through the air, Scrapper, you hear the sound of the electromagnet fire up halfway through its arc, and you hear it go thunk and stick to the ship. The jackal gives it a good tug, and then anchors it around a stop on the side of his ship. And the other 2 jackals begin climbing under the line out towards his ship. The first one makes it. The second one is still out over the water, and the third one is still back here. Scrapper, it's now your turn.
Alright, first off, I'll order Zipper to attack this guy that's now on the ship. Well, I aim for the one on the way.
Okay, let me just find a token for Zipper. And a really good one just came up. Where did it go? Right, so that's a token for Zipper there. And you now have control of that.
Yep. So I'll just
So you
do
order
that.
him to
Go straight
attack.
for him. Yep.
Okay. Now, when your robot attacks, it's you do the roll. That's correct?
Yes. I think the target is 9 or higher
For him to
land.
hit.
Yeah, for him to hit, I think.
Let me
Yeah, so
just.
because I got here 9 attack or defense. I think that's I need at least a 9 or something like that.
What was your focus?
Toss machines.
There's a
But yeah,
target number.
it's a level. Yeah, it's a level 3 creature. So.
Okay. Okay, so it will. Yeah, it counts as a level 3. So that's when it's thing, but you still have to roll for it. Yeah, it can't just attack and hit.
Yeah, I know that, but what's the actual target for it to hit? Is it actually 9 or above?
No, it's a target 5. Other things have to hit 9 to damage it. So I'll get difficulty 5 to hit the jackal in front.
Okay. Boom! He hits it. 19.
So you see Zipper like come up next to it, and it does that thing that you've seen it do before. It kind of sits and regards it for a second as the jackal sort of snarls at it and comes up into a fighting guard against it. And then you see the Zipper just sort of lash out with its fist and hit it like a jackhammer.
Yes.
So that'll do 5 points of damage and onto the jackal in front of it.
Is the 19 plus 3? I thought it was a plus 3.
You're right, sorry, that'll do 6 points of damage because Zipper usually does 3 points. So that will so that jackal sort of takes the blow, and you see it sort of crumple under it for a second, and bring its fists with its sort of forearm blades back up with a hook. Okay, so whose turn is it next?
Still, is
It's
is
still
it
yours.
just
You get to act. Yep.
yeah? Okay, so am I actually in range to hit this guy that's on the rope from where I am?
You'll need to step forward to give it a
Yeah.
to hit it
Okay,
properly.
so I'll jump up here then,
hmm
and I'll aim specifically to make him lose his grip, to basically just hit
Okay.
him on the arm.
So to make him lose his grip, that will be a difficulty 6 shot because it would usually be a difficulty 5 to hit him. So difficulty
Okay,
6.
so I've got skill with ranged attacks for medium range. So with my
hmm
crossbow, that'll bring it down by 1,
hmm
and I'll also I'll use 2 points of effort as well.
Okay, difficulty 3.
Yep, so that will cost me 5 usually, so it's just 1 with my 4 edge.
hmm
Because I've got analytical combat, which I can put analytical combat. I can put intelligence into attacks. So I can so now it's a difficulty 3. So let's roll. 16. That's a hit.
Okay, so you steady yourself against the rocking of the ship and wait for your moment as it sort of rocks back before shooting the jackal in the arm. And the bolt flies true, and you see it embed itself in the arm where it's grabbed on. The jackal sort of stumbles for a bit, and you see it almost fall off the rope, but at the very last moment, it leans out with its hooked arm and hooks onto it with its hook, but it's sort of just swaying there and sitting. So that jackal won't be able to move forward for another round as it gets its balance back. How much damage does that do?
Standard is 4 damage being a medium weapon.
Okay, so it takes 4 points of damage. So Iaza's going to sort of keep on guard against this guy up here. But Storchy's going to pull out, he's got a slug thrower. And so he pulls out a long-barreled slug thrower. Again, you notice that some of the technology these guys use is really simple. So he pulls it out and sort of cranks it back. It's like some sort of mechanical firearm, and then with a puff of smoke, he fires it at the Araska and the thing. But the slug sails wide, so thought she's actually missed that shot. Elendar, your turn.
So you said Iaza was looking to sort of almost goad the Arasha.
Yeah, he's sort of staying on guard and yelling at it and trying to draw its attention. But the Araska's pretty smart, so it is. It's not like fully distracted.
Cool. In that case, I'm going to give Zipper a little bit of a heads up, and not so much a heads up. I'm going to give him a little bit of a boost and see if I can manipulate the gravity around him so that his blows, like when he swings his fist, he swings a little bit more fiercely. Basically, I'm going to be using an esoteric known as aggression, which grants a single character an asset on might-based attack rolls for 1 minute.
Okay, so you see, Scrappy, you notice some distortion in the air around Zipper, especially centered on his fists, and it's almost like they're, they feel lighter to Zipper, so he's able to swing them with greater speed and therefore strength.
Oh, you just buffed them. Great.
He just
Cool.
get buffed. Okay, the Araska's going to, it's got another spear in its hand, and it's going to throw another one at Iaza. And unfortunately, this one is a bit further on its mark, and the spear sort of comes down, and you see it stick into his leg, an armor plate that he's got on the top of his leg, sort of turns it aside a little bit, but it still goes around the armor plate into the fleshy part of his thigh. And he gives out a sort of yell and crumples to one knee as it goes through, and you hear a sort of clicking and hissing laugh from the Araska as it looks at it, and it sort of hovers over a bit closer, ready to attack. Blargs, it's your turn. You're stuck in the water. You're in the water.
Okay. You know the one that Scrapper knocked sort of down, right? How far above the water is it? How far
Not
above
far.
the water is the zip line?
Not far enough that it's entirely out of your reach. If you're going to try and do what I think you're going to try and do.
Because what I want to do is swim over and try to sort of grab it and pull myself up, or just pull it down, one of the two. Try and manhandle it a bit, do some wrestling.
Okay, so let's see, to get it down there, it's sort of distracted as it swings around in there, but you are coming out of the water, which makes it a bit harder. So difficulty 5.
Yeah, you can't leap from the water without ground to stand on.
He gains speed
specialised in
underwater.
jumping. That's part of being specialised in jumping, is you're able to jump like an orca.
No, there's a specific subset of jumping that lets you do diving leaps.
I'm just picturing Blythe out just doing this, just he comes out of the water.
And as he does that, this little like fish comes out of the water and just holds its fin up and.
No, he does that. He leaps out of the water with the axe in his teeth.
Oh god, I'm going to put a point of effort into this, and then fail anyway.
13.
That will do it, because that would have brought it. It was difficulty 5. That brought it down to difficulty 4. So.
Nice.
So the Jekyll's sort of swinging on there, and you see it. Scrappy, you just from where you're standing, and Ellendale, you just sort of see this something move under the water before Blarg sort of comes out with a battle cry that sounds awfully like a dolphin, and he just jumps up and leaps and grabs the Jekyll in a bear hug. Now that much weight on the line, it causes it to sort of bow in the middle, and you see the backside of the other vessel start to sort of curve towards you a little bit as it sort of bows in. You're now over here. This guy's.
Blarg, stop doing things. This is bad.
Totally worth it.
Just pulling the two ships closer together with his supreme strength.
And the Jekyll that you've got in your hand, arms, is sort of flailing around. It's still only hooked on by its like hooked arm blades onto the line, and it's sort of trying to claw at you, but you sort of grab a hold of it for dear life. So I'll get a might or a speed roll to dodge its blows as it sort of hammers down on you, or at least to deflect them. From you, Bugs. Difficulty 5.
Yeah, I started talking and my mic was muted, as always. I'll go with might and I'll put a point of effort in.
Okay.
Terrible.
Oh, 7. Ouch.
So it's not going to hit you hard enough to make you let go. You've got it like in a wrestling hold now. You've sort of grabbed onto it and wrapped one of your legs around it. But that is going to hurt as it sort of gets its other forearm blade and sort of digs it deep into your back. So that will be 5 points of damage.
Ow.
Ouch.
But that is, of course, attenuated by any armor that you are wearing.
Yeah. Thank Christ.
So it sort of, starts yelling at you. It sort of bashes at you a bit, and it's trying to wriggle away, but you hold on for dear life while you're in the middle there. This one over here, in front of Zipper, is going to lash out with its own blade. So Scrapper, I'll get you to do Zipper's roll to dodge.
Okay.
Difficulty 5.
Oh god, nah, he gets hit.
Okay, so you sort of see the blade, lash out and hook into Zipper, and then sort of he jerks it back, and it pulls some electronics with it, and Zipper lets out like a squeal as that happens. So he's going to take 5 points of damage. I believe he's got 9 hit points. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't think any what he's got counts as armor either.
Yeah, it does have 9 hit points. And
Yeah.
the third one over here, now that it's seen that cable sort of do that, it's sort of looking confused at Blargs and at the line. This was not how it meant to go. So it moves back up to the front of the ship, and now you can see up the front of the ship there's actually a harpoon gun mounted on the front of it. But it's still making its way up there. So, Scrapper, you're...
Hmm. Alright. Well, I think I'm gonna get Zipper to back off now because I don't want him pretty much getting knocked completely out. So, can I back him off without provoking an attack?
You can. That'll be his entire action, though.
Yeah, I basically want to move him somewhere like up here. So if he comes towards us, it'll be he'll be flanked. So basically like that.
That's the harpoon gun there, by the way. Yep. So so Zipper moves back, and you sort of see he's a bit wonky as he moves back, but he limps his way back.
And I pretty
And
much just shoot him, like just straight at him. Reload and
okay,
shoot.
okay, difficulty 5.
Okay, okay, spawn attacks. This goes down to 4. I'll do just 1 point and put it down to difficulty 3. For 1 point of
Okay.
intellect effort.
hmm
Ugh. Yeah, it misses.
Okay. So the bolt, you thought it was good, but the Jackal's fast, and it sort of brings up one of its forearms. You can see there's a metal plate embedded into it. It sort of deflects the bolt away as it goes forward, and this is the one with the tongue. You see its tongue sort of come back out, and as it sort of licks the air and lets out a sort of hissing laugh at you as it blocks the shot. Arrogant fucker that it is.
Mm.
So Aza's down on one knee, and he's got the he's been speared by the spear, and you see him sort of reach over and pull out the spear from both his wound and where it's sort of embedded in the surface behind him, and he tears a sort of scrap off his sleeve and starts staunching the wound against it and shuffles back along the deck a little bit to get away. Storchy takes another shot, and in the heat of the moment, you think you see it clip this in front of it, but it doesn't seem to have slowed it down at all. Elendar, it's your turn.
I believe I'm going to probably make a terrible decision.
No.
What's the distance? What's the distance between where I am on the Deshin and the harpoon gun on the other ship?
From where you are to there, well, it was probably about 10 meters, maybe a bit more. No, it's probably a bit more. It's probably it's about the same as Blargs tried to jump before, so it's about 15 meters, a little bit less, about 14 meters.
Cool. That's fine with me. Fall sideways. I fast step to the harpoon gun.
Oh shit. Oh no.
Okay. So I'm going to make that for you to do that accurately, to get to where you want to get, it's probably a speed roll or an intellect roll, given you're on two sort of moving ships. get it accurate. It's probably about a difficulty 4 to do that.
Dang. Um,
I would suggest effort, I think.
yeah, difficulty 4A. I'll spend 1 effort and I'll do a speed test to make sure I keep my balance. So,
Mhm.
1 level of effort. Unfortunately, I only have 1 edge in speed because I'm using all my intellect edge to do the fast step to begin with.
Yeah.
Go me!
Oh, come on. It's good.
Oh,
Oh, we
jeez,
got
that
it.
one
Oh
was
my god, thank god it was good.
Okay, and it was very good actually. So not only do you manage to sort of step sideways and you sort of rocket sideways through the air, and as you're rocketing past, you grab the end of the harpoon gun and write your own personal gravity back to normal. So you sort of slip sideways, grab the harpoon gun, and get back to normal. So now you're at the control of the turret,
cool.
but you won't be able to fire it just yet, just because getting it, and yeah, you have to steady yourself for a second.
I figured, yeah.
Okay. So this one up in the air is now going to sort of move onto the ship, and you see it land. It sort of lands and starts making its way towards Storchy and Iaza. And it's going to lash out at Storchy, who's got his rifle out in front of him, and you see it sort of lash out and knock the rifle out of his hand. So he's now unarmed out in the front of it, and he sort of puts up his fist, but you get the sense despite all his experience at sea, he's not not necessarily a pugilist. So yeah, he's just going to put up his guard in front of this thing. Blarg, it's your turn. You're holding on to your buddy there.
Yeah. All right. I'd like to try and climb up onto the rope and kick this thing in the face. Maybe just kick it in the face. I don't know.
Okay, so to climb up it, for once the Jekyll's bolted on components and general graphs is actually going to work against it because it actually gives you a lot of handholds. So that's only a difficulty 3 to climb up to the rope.
Hmm.
And you're skilled at climbing, aren't you?
No, I don't have anything in climbing. Only jumping.
No, only jumping.
But I'm glorious
Can
at
you
jumping.
jump
He's
off
never
him?
met something he's never met something he couldn't jump.
Would it be speed or might to put a point of effort into it?
I think he might. He
It's
might, wouldn't
probably
it, for a
might.
climb?
It's more about grabbing handholds than.
Right, I'll put a point of effort into it.
Got it. 10.
Okay, so you grab onto like its armor plate and something that looks fused to its shoulder, and you sort of climb up on it, and it screams out in pain. It actually takes 2 points of damage from you just doing that with its.
Brilliant.
And you climb up top of it, and you're now holding onto the cable, sort of with your feet resting on one of its armor plates in the middle of it. You've got like a foothold in its gut. You're sort of holding it away from you a little bit like that. You sort of got you've got a foothold on it.
Brilliant. Do I have anything left in my turn, or is that it?
You can probably do a one-handed punch on it as you go on.
Yeah, I think I'll give it a shot. Never hurts unless
Slap. Just
miss
slap him.
I fall off.
Yeah. So difficulty 5 to do that from where you are.
Oh, that's fine. I'll put a point of effort in.
You got it, I think.
Yep.
That's it. 13. You got it.
So you sort of come through with a slap towards the side of its head, somewhere where you can see that that it's not armored, doesn't have any plates, and it looks like it's got like a bandage over part of its head. And you sort of give it a ringing slap around the head as it comes through. How many points of damage is that going to do?
I'm not actually sure. I think unarmed is just 2 because it counts as a light attack, but I'm not actually sure.
I think it does.
Yeah, because there's a focus that improves your unarmed attacks.
That's right.
Yeah,
So
there is.
So it counts as a light attack, and you see it sort of, shake its head to try and get the ringing out of its ears as it comes through, and it's sort of, it's not in a good way given that you've been beating on it now for a couple of minutes, but it's still holding on, and by its hooks, and with your weight on it, it looks pretty angry. So it's going to try and sort of slash back with the arm that's not hanging off the top, and it's going to try and embed its other claw into your guts. So I'll get a might roll to, given that you're holding on by both hands, this is probably more a might check than a speed check to sort of resist it or catch it on your armor.
Alright, point of effort as per usual. Yeah.
9.
Okay. So unfortunately it comes through with your hook and sort of, you feel the hook sort of, get into the side of you, and it jerks back again, and you feel it sort of rake across your midriff. And you start to bleed from the side. So that's 5 points of damage.
Fun times.
Damn.
Minus whatever was caught on your armor.
Thank Christ for the top perk thing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of the other ones, though, this one's going to try and wrench the harpoon back off of you, Elendar. So this will be probably an opposed might check, given it's going to try and grab it off you. So I'll get from you a might check difficulty 5 to retain control of the harpoon.
Oh god.
And this is when I wish I had some edge in might.
Mm.
I'm going to go 1 level of effort. I'm not going to go 2.
Okay. Oh, 20! Oh my god.
I get the spending stuff back.
You do, and as it wrenches the harpoon around, you see it bring the spear end around towards it. It sort of comes up and twists towards it like that until the spear is pointing sort of directly at its chest. And in that moment, you react faster than you'd expect and just pull the trigger as it pushes the harpoon towards itself. And the harpoon, so this sort of spins around like that. And now I can't grab the thing beneath it. And the harpoon embeds itself in its shoulder, and it gets sort of pushed back. You're holding onto it from the side now. And it will take 6 points of damage, self-inflicted from the harpoon. It did not turn out how that guy hoped. And then this guy is going to advance on you, Scrapper.
Okay.
So it'll move towards you and swing at you with its forearm blade.
Okay.
So I'll get a roll to dodge from you.
Okay, I'm skilled in defense.
Mm-hmm.
So which will bring it down by 1.
Difficulty 4.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be enough. 18, easy.
Okay, its blade sails over your head as you duck backwards out of its reach and come back up into a guard because it's now your turn.
Yep. It's focused entirely on me, so I pretty much just get Zipper to attack from the side.
Mm-hmm. And Zipper's still got buffed fists. So if it does connect, that'll do more damage.
Does he get any assets for flanking?
It's an asset, isn't it? Sorry, he gets an asset
just,
from.
Yeah.
asset from the fists and another asset for flanking. Yeah, so we'll say difficulty 3.
Okay.
Unfortunately, no actual extra damage.
Oh, goddamn. Not enough though. Roll a 2. Okay.
So Scrapper comes out, but maybe because he was damaged earlier, he sort of misses out and isn't quite as coordinated as you have seen him be. He will self-repair. It just takes time.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I switch to knife and try to just slash right at him.
Okay, I'll get a speed or might roll for that.
Yeah, it's going to be just a speed roll with I'll put 2 points of effort into this one, and oh my god.
And
I think I'll actually spend XP to reroll that,
okay,
mainly because I just want this guy down. That'll do.
a bit better. So the knife flashes out, and the thing, the jackal in front of you thinks it's dodged the first blow, but you're cleverer than that, and you sort of slash through. It's a left-handed slash, and then you bring it back through on a downward stab, which grabs it in the shoulder, and it's got the knife sort of sticking out of it. How many points of damage is that going to do?
It's a light weapon, so 2.
2. Okay. And the knife sort of embeds itself for a second before you bring it back out, and and the sort of spurt of its sort of its blood is almost too bright, like it's a really bright red, like it's over oxygenated or something, and that sort of pulls out as you do it. Okay, the turn. These guys. Storchy's lost his gun, so he's gonna. He keeps putting Aesa behind him, because he's trying to defend it, and he just sort of comes up in a guard and lashes out at the thing in front of it. And he connects, but it doesn't look like a super hard blow, but it will still do a little bit of damage to it. The Araska doesn't turn it aside super successfully. Aesa sort of staunched the blood, and he sort of gets back to his feet and has his sword out in his hand and brings it up ready to charge, and Storchy backs off after he makes his hit. Okay, it's your turn, Elendar. Having harpooned the guy in front of you, there are a couple of harpoons in a basket next to the gun here. Looks like you can load that, but probably not fire this turn. Failing that, you can do something else.
How heavy is the box of harpoons?
Well, the harpoons are sort of solid metal thread, about a metre long. The box is a couple of kilos with them all in it. It's got like 5 or 6 in there, so maybe it's 4 or 5 kilos.
Would it be too awkward for me to pick it up?
The whole box?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably hard to grab the whole thing just because they're long, and maybe you can pick up one of them.
Am I able to pick up one of them, reload the gun, but then at the same time just have another one ready in my hands to defend myself?
Yep, that's fine. So you can pick up 2 and load one back in the gun, and then have one there. But that's probably your whole action.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So turn now goes to this guy. This guy looks at the and it's sort of identified the captain in front of it, and it sort of moves up to Aesa to go in for another blow, but the captain's now got his sword up in front of him and turns it aside as it comes to it. He sort of feints in with the sword just to distract it as it comes through. It's then sort of gives a flap of its wings and starts, sort of flies back across the surface a little bit to get a bit of space on both of them. It picks upon its spears as it goes back. So this guy is now rearmed. Blugs, your turn. You're still bear hugging your buddy there.
Huzzah! Alright, I'd like to actually be relatively sensible. Ah, oh, that feels dirty. And I'd rather than doing anything too stupid, just climb back on top of our boat, well, the submachine, if I can.
Okay, so you climb sort of hand over hand along the rail, moving past the Jekyll as you go past, and that gets you back to here. Because you're pretty athletic and the boats are now even closer together. Now we started the round, I'll just. It's still sort of yawing as it from the weight of both of you on the cable, and it's now sort of heading this way a little bit. This guy's still hanging in the middle though. You've probably quick enough to also swing at the guy in front of you with the axe. He's probably close enough that you can swing it.
Oh, well, if you're offering, I may
He
as
goes
well.
back to you, finish him.
Yeah, alright, I'll swing at him with my two-handed axe. Put
Okay.
a point of effort into it.
14.
Okay. With the point of effort, that is enough to connect.
Excellent.
Bring it down.
Which does 7 damage.
Okay.
Oh, wait. 8 damage. Man, I'm good at this. I can maths.
Okay. So your axe comes round and oh, hang on, let me write this correctly. And as it hits, because the guy is sort of shocked taking such a big hit at once, you see him almost in his surprise. He lets go of the cable and drops into the water between the two ships. You know, he sort of, and you hear him yell, but he sort of swims back to the surface very quickly. And you see him in there, and he reaches out with the hand that Scrapper didn't shoot, and hooks onto the side of the submachine, and starts scrabbling up towards you, Blargs, but he's still sort of climbing up.
Sorry.
This guy here.
Yep. I was just want to ask, Blogs, are you a tier 3?
Yeah. Yes. You think I'd know this?
I don't.
Yeah, I can attack twice per turn. If I
Yeah,
want to.
that.
I'm good. I think I've done enough this turn.
Yeah, you
man.
probably can't because you had to do that climb at the start of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next turn you'll be in a position to attack twice though. Okay, the one in front of you, Elendar, it's going to, it's still got the harpoon sticking out of it, but it's going to sort of charge at you in a rage. So I'll get a roll to dodge from you.
Point of effort. Of speed, defense.
Yeah, because you got no one to back you up while you're over there.
That's fine. That's not good.
Oh my god.
That's
Oh
really
my
not
god,
good.
it's bad either way. 2 and a 5.
If I spend experience, will that allow me to reroll the entire thing, or just that second roll?
I'll let you reroll both
I might spend XP.
because you're that lucky.
Apparently I am.
Okay.
Only just, though.
Oh, 13 only.
So it charges towards you, and you see it sort of come. It's almost trying to tackle you, and you sort of bring the harpoon around in a slack guard, and anchor your feet. You maybe expend a little bit of your gravity power to give yourself really strong anchoring. You sort of push back against it, holding the side of the harpoon, and it sort of grabs the harpoon itself and starts wrestling with it back and forward, trying to get it off you. Scrapper, the one in front of you is going to. Has he already attacked this round? He hasn't. He's going to lash out at you. So speed roll dodge from you.
Yep, so skill with defense. Making that. Oh my god. Okay, I'm probably getting destined to hit, so I'm just going to let it happen. I'm not going to keep spending XP.
And this time you're not fast enough to turn aside its blow, and so it'll. This one's got less of it's got a hook on one arm, which it was using to hook the thing, but its other one is more of a straight blade, and it sort of jabs at you with that, and like a little like a rabbit punch with the blade on it. So that'll be 5 points of damage to you, attenuated by armor, of course.
Yep, so that's 4.
4, okay, so you take 4 points.
Yep.
Okay, these guys here, the captain, this thing is now flying up in the air, and so Storchy's going to run over and pick his gun back up and start reloading it for another shot. And the captain's just going to back off a little bit and come and see what you guys are doing over there. Elendar, it's your turn.
My turn already. Is it at all possible? Okay, actually, now that I'm on their ship where there is a harpoon gun, do I see anything that would indicate some sort of like control mechanism, like a wheel or something like that?
There is a control surface for the ship, but it's back over here.
Crap. In that case, am I able to potentially either trip and or knock the jackal off the ship?
Okay, to do that, the thing did charge at you, so it's sort of recovering from a charge. You're still sort of wrestling with it on the thing, and it's pretty thing. You're close to the front of the ship, but to get it over the edge would be quite tough. It's a little bit disoriented. It's probably a difficulty 6 if you want to throw it off the ship. And that'll be might or speed.
I kind of just want to do it, because why not? I will do a might test, using two levels of effort for might.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see how I go. Looking good so far, maybe.
Good start. Can't
Oh,
hit for.
16.
So you hit it. So you wrestle with it with the harpoon, and you sort of give it back and forward, and you look over the edge of the railing, and with an almighty sort of thing, it plunge the end of the harpoon onto the ground, using your gravity power to hold it in place and use it as a fulcrum, and throw the guy over the edge until he falls off the front of the ship.
If they're mostly metal, I presume they don't like water.
Well, no, they're not. It's not necessarily they're not going to like instantly corrode, but they are pretty heavy. So you see it sort of struggling to keep up the metal in it. And this one too was sort of struggling as well before.
Well, he had something to grab onto, which means he could stop his descent into the water.
Yeah,
right?
This one is he's staying above water, but you get the sense it's taking him a lot of work to do it. Yeah, because he's just got all that weight on him. He's not super buoyant.
Excellent.
Okay, this thing is going to go for the captain again, but he'll sort of turn aside its attack. It's got the spear again, and it sort of comes in with like a dive bomb. But the captain will be nimble enough to step out of the way. Blargs, it's your turn.
Huzzah! Is the one on the edge of the ship close enough for me to be able to attack it, or is it still stuck climbing up?
No, you can. You've got a big two-handed axe. You can. In fact, you've got the one that changes shape. So yes, you can go for it.
Don't put a hole in the ship. Please don't put a hole in the ship.
It's a big tough ship. It'll be fine. Alright, I'm going to attack it, put a point of effort into it.
13?
Um,
That should be enough,
because
isn't
it's because it's scrambling and trying to climb up and is injured. Yes, it will. So that'll do 9 points again.
8, wasn't it?
8,
Pretty
that's
sure.
right.
To say last
it?
time.
8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's enough to do it anyway. So you bring the axe down on the. It's sort of still scrubbing up, and it's got one of its arms hooked in. And you bring it down right across its sort of at the joint at the elbow, and that severs its arm. and it tries to grab on, but it's slick with blood on the other side and lets go and falls into the water. And because it's only got one arm and has all that weight on it, it can't actually keep its way up, and you see it sort of struggle before sinking into the deep.
Dark.
Now you get to attack twice.
Yeah. If I spend 3 speed, I can attack a second time. So I will do that and swing at the other one, if you will let me.
Yep, sure.
Pretty
By
close.
my speed pool.
That one's flanked because so the difficulty drops down a bit.
As I say, he's got his back to you, so you'll get a good hit if you land this one.
Yep,
Yeah,
and I'll
it's
put
pretty
a
well
point of effort
flanked.
into it as well, just in case.
So difficulty 3.
16.
No issues connecting there.
Cool beans.
Okay, so that will bring that down to much less health. Okay. Let's see. This one on the front of the ship, it's now going to try to scramble back up in a climb. So it's going to sort of climb halfway up the front of it there. It's still holding on and trying to get its way up, but it doesn't quite get all the way up to the top before you get a chance to react to it. This one here is now being attacked on 3 sides. And so in an almighty leap, it actually leaps up onto the top of the con tower here and tries to sort of get a bit of distance on all 3 of you. But that's all it's really going to do this turn. It's just going to jump up there and get its balance and start guarding against you from the top there. Okay, the turn now goes to Scrapper.
Alright, well, now that he's up there, I actually look back and see the captain in trouble. I'm actually going to order Zipper. Can Zipper actually get to the winged beast from where it is now?
It can get close to it, but it probably can't attack it.
Not even if it's like a charged tackle?
No, because it's sort of slightly in the air still, so to get to it, he'd have to jump for it.
Okay, so he won't be able to get to it. Alright, I'll send him over there to start giving the captain a hand anyway. So how far will he get? Pretty much like here, I guess, or?
He'll get sort of to it, but not enough to hit it.
Not enough to hit it.
The other option is you could somehow bring it down before Zipper gets there.
I'm actually going to do that. So I will reload my crossbow and hit it so that try to make it land so that maybe I go for one of the joints in its wings to its back if I can reach it.
Yep, so that'll be it's sort of moving around. It's not real damage. That'll actually be quite tough as a sort of base level. It'll actually be difficulty 7 to do that.
Okay. Well, difficulty 6 with skill with attacks medium ranged. So which brings down to difficulty 6. So I bring it down to a difficulty 3 if I spend 3 points of effort. I might actually do that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so 3 points of effort. That would be 3 points of intellect total.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do that. I'm straight. Okay. And I will go for the shot.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. Okay. That's a direct hit. Oh my god, that's a 20. So...
Okay, so what you'd expected first... You get your points back. You wanted to bring it down, so I'll give you some choices. You can either bring it down with a lot of damage, or you can bring it down and sever the wings so it can't take flight again.
I'm going to sever the wings, because that's pretty much its advantage. I'm going to stop it from doing that.
So it does its medium damage, which is 4.
Yep.
But you see, it sort of goes into the joint and hits the sort of edge of its wing at the joint and starts hanging loosely. The end of it sort of starts hanging loosely, and it sort of screeches and clutches at itself in pain before thrashing about a bit. But that's not enough to make it dodge Zipper. So I'll get you to roll Zipper's thing now. Because the thing's distracted by pain, it'll be difficulty 5 for Zipper.
Okay. Oh, that was almost a 20. Oh well.
In all it's
No,
thrashing
you-
around, and because Zipper's a little bit damaged as well, he doesn't quite connect with the blow. But you have brought it down. You have brought it down to your level.
That's a shame. That would have been epic. Oh well.
Well, it helps that the captain can now get in with a blow, so he's going to come in for a blow for 4 points of damage. And Storchy's now got his weapon reloaded, so he's going to, he sort of sees the aim at the front of the ship there where Elendar is. He's going to try and pick this one off, but even though he's a good shot, and Elendar, you see it ping sort of in front of it there, it's not quite enough to hit. So Elendar, it's your turn. You've got a dude climbing up in front of you. Also got a loaded harpoon gun.
I'm aware of the loaded harpoon gun. How difficult? Actually, the ship that I'm currently on, is there like a railing separating from like the deck over to the edge of the ship, or is it mostly just like a flat surface where there's nothing really prohibiting movement?
There's sort of bits and pieces attached to it. There's sort of bits of railing around the edge. It doesn't go the whole way around. Sort of gaps missing where plates have been welded onto the edge of the ship. And there's the parts where it's been cut away so the mast can move a little bit freely on an angle. So the railing's not all the way around.
Okay. Secondly, probably an important question. Does it look like these two ships are about to collide?
They're probably not going to collide, but it is going to yaw right around. They're not going to collide just yet, but it is yawing around. So severing that cable is probably not a horrible idea.
Yeah, that will come later. First off, though, I want to know if it is at all possible if I can literally just semi-lift, sort of shove the box of harpoons so that they basically collide with the jackal hanging on the side of the thing.
Okay, you can kick the box of harpoons into him if you'd like.
I would like to do that.
Dropping
Okay,
a fridge on his head.
Sorry, headset's running out of batteries.
All good.
What was that?
Yes, I would like to do that. I would like to kick the box of harpoons so that they will kind of hit him in the face and tumble on to and make him lose his grip.
Okay, it'll actually only be a difficulty 4 to do that because it's a pretty easy kick and he is hanging on for his life.
Excellent. I spent a lot of might last time, so I'm going to chance it.
Mm-hmm.
Chance is looking good.
Where's the 2d20? Is that going or not?
Yeah, I just rolled it. Roll 20 seems to be a bit slow tonight for me, at least.
Yeah, server might be a bit slow.
1, 2.
Yeah, it takes a while for your 1d2 to go.
It does that, yeah. Maybe the macros need updating or something like that. Oh well. At any rate, my lowest roll.
Another 20, what?
Okay, so the box of harpoons clatters across the deck, and you sort of line up the angles perfectly, and look at it down the thing, and you give the end of the box a kick. Now the harpoons have been sort of facing the front of the ship, and the way you kick the box, you actually do it in such a way, and you apply a little push from your gravity powers to the end of one of the harpoons. So the box sort of tips up, and one of the harpoons lurches out of it, and it rams itself point first through the jackal's skull. And you see it stop thrashing and trying to climb as it falls off the front of the ship, it just sort of falls backwards and falls into the water and dies.
Oh,
Okay, so
the
you're
classic
now
harpoons.
and you are now alone on the ship, which now it's the end of the round. We'll start to yaw around and move a little bit further. So it's getting close to a collision, but not quite yet. Okay, it's this guy's turn. It's going to lash out at the captain because the captain actually hit it last time. But the captain is going to sort of take another hit from its spear, and he'll sort of clutch his side in pain. But he's still traveling. He's sort of yelling. He probably can't fight for much longer, but he's still upright. Blargs, it's your turn. You have one dude up on the con in front of you here who's looking pretty injured. You have the cable in front of you here. And then you've got this guy here.
Well, I think I will continue to use my amazing jumping skills that have never failed me, and jump up and attack the guy above me.
Okay, you can jump up there is only difficulty 2, giving you specialised. You can just do it because you've got sea legs and all that. So
Yay!
you jump up there, and you can now attack it.
All right. Point of effort as per usual.
15.
That'll do it.
What?
So you chop in from the angle you're at. It's almost like chopping a tree, and you bring it through in just what looks like a textbook stroke. There'd be if you had some sort of recorder, there would be people studying your form on this chop. Unlike a tree, however, it's usually so stationary when you hit it with an axe. This guy, the force of the impact knocks him down onto the surface below, and he's pretty bloody. The impact he doesn't land well. One of his armor plates digs into himself, and he's sort of still scrabbling and trying to attack, but he's not in a good way. Have you got anything else you'd like to do?
I'll just shout axe and call it there.
Okay. Blargs just shouts axe, which, as battle cries go, is not one for the ages. It's not, they can take our lives and they can never take our freedom. It's not, are you not
He'll make it
entertained?
one, though, at this rate. He'll
But
make
it's,
it one.
well, it's effective, and you're pretty sure that it's going to end up in one of Storchy's stories at 1.2.
It's the many inflections of axe give it its meaning.
He's
That's
asking
right.
too many questions.
This guy's not in a good way. He's going to crawl over to the cable and try and scarf it back to the other ship, but he's moving really slowly. You sort of see him sort of start limping out the cable and start putting hand to hand. He's realised that this fight is perhaps not going how they intended. Scrapper, it's your turn.
Alright. Since our winged beastie's focused on the captain, I'm trying to get Zipper up behind and basically just try a bear hug grab.
Mm-hmm. So to grab that guy, now he's grounded, he's a bit less tough, so it'll be difficulty 5.
Okay.
Like, he's still got hit points for days, but he's not as agile as he was.
Damn it, Zipper, why'd you have to take damage?
So Zipper tries to come in and grab him and sort of flounders a bit as he tries to do it. He's really not moving well. You might have to actually get in there with some tools and see what you can do after the fight's over.
That'll be fine. I can do that. I'm basically just gonna. I'm confident that Blargs has got that other guy in the bag, so I'm basically just gonna I'm gonna focus on it as well. Focus on Zipper's target and basically reload and shoot.
Okay, it's flanked, so that helps you. That will bring it down to difficulty 4.
Difficulty 3 with my skill with attacks, and I'll put a difficulty 2. I'll put a point of effort in because that will cost me nothing. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
Unfortunately, your bolt Sails wide. You're not as used to. You're not like Plugs. You haven't really got your sea legs as well as he has, so
I must be
you're hands
seasick or
off.
something, but I've had good shots before, but yeah, I'm just not used to this ship, I guess.
That's right. The captain is going to swing back and miss, and Storchy's not going to try and take the shot from where he is. So he's going to, he's got a cudgel, so he's going to try and sort of start moving in with his cudgel. He's got the rifle. He slings back over his shoulder and brings out a short club, but that will be him. Elendar, it's your turn now. The ships are getting awfully close to collision.
Yes, they are. You said that when they first sort of grappled with the ship, they activated some sort of device that launched if not a rope, then some sort of twine or something like that. Is that still on this ship, or did one of the jackals have that specifically?
The way it worked, it was like a hand thrown grapple, but there's a small sort of control part down on the edge of the ship there. That's where it's anchored to. That's not holding the tension though. The tension's held by he looped it around the edge here, but the power for it is coming from there. The thing that's controlling the electromagnet that Scrapper heard.
Cool. In that case, how long would it take me to get down to that end of the ship to sort of fiddle with the power source?
Running, probably longer than a turn.
Screw it, fast step.
Okay. So you spend the points that you need for that.
Whee!
Okay, you're
Every
now
time-
right next to the machine.
All I picture is just like you being like Goku and then just going.
It's literally like you see him and he's just like falling sideways.
Yep.
So you're now on top of you're now in front of the control surface. In terms of machines, it looks pretty cobbled together, but you think a swift kick will probably deactivate it.
Alright, a fast step probably took all my concentration to get here, along with the fact that the ship is still moving, so I guess I'll focus on destroying the machine next turn.
No, you could probably do it this turn. It's not, as I said, it's probably a decent kick, so it's not super intensive intelligence-wise.
Alright, cool. I jabbed the harpoon into it.
Okay, you jam the harpoon into it, and it sparks and sputters, and Blargs, in front of you, just there, you see the magnet deactivate and fall loose, which doesn't bode well for this guy, because he now is being dragged, gets dragged into the water and is now being dragged by the ship, which is going to now miss its collision, which is nice.
It is quite favourable.
So it's going to, where are we? The only problem is now it's on an angle, it's really hard to grab with my thing. It sort of moves forward like that, just missing the front of it. This guy gets dragged behind it, and Elendar, you're now down here somewhere.
Gonna go off the board.
I want to get back on the ship before you leave the combat zone and then get instantly killed by unknown means.
Yes, you just fall off the world.
Future Kraken.
You run into a clipping error and just fall through the world.
Cyborg Kraken.
So this thing is going to try and scarper. It's going to try and sort of move away, defend its way out and start heading back towards its own ship before the ship floats away too far. Blargs, it's your turn.
Can you jump over me and hit it from here?
Hey, Red, can I jump over Tanky and hit it from here? Attempt to do that.
You get a running
want to-
start because you got room.
Do you want to try and hit it in one thing, or do you want to jump and hit? Here's the difference. If you try and jump and swing it in midair, it'll be harder, but you've got potential for a follow-up attack. If you want to jump and then hit, it'll be easier, but you'll only get one attack.
Considering that it can't fly now.
Yeah, let's go with the latter, the easier one, to be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like,
I assume you'll still
don't
not
have to
spend
be go, you don't have to
speed
go
points
that
for
gun
that.
ho.
Okay, so let's see. With your skills and sea legs, it'll only be difficulty 3 to make that jump. You're basically going to be jumping from the con. The difficult part of the jump is going to be doing it without getting speared by the thing and without getting, without tripping over Scrapper mid jump. So difficulty 3 for you.
Oh, this will be brilliant.
You better go.
Oh wow!
That's
a
a 1.
That is a
no.
1.
XP.
XP it, please. This is gonna go so badly if you don't.
Right, I'm gonna XP it. Reroll it. For Christ's sake.
Oh wow!
Using XP has never worked for me.
Oh, 2.
2.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Well,
So I'm going to intrude there.
yeah, I figured you would.
Mhm. So you sort of jump, and whilst the jump's good, you sort of clip Scrapper on the way through.
Sorry.
Doesn't actually hurt Scrapper. You just kind of catch your boot on him. But rather than what was intended to be a 10-point landing, you go sprawling on the deck and slide. The thing jumps over you as you do it, and you start sliding back into the water and sliding off the side of the ship
Oh my god.
into the sea.
I'm sorry, Vlogs, but that was an entertaining outcome.
No, totally worth it. Totally worth it.
This dude starts sort of hauling himself slowly back onto the ship, so he's now sort of up the side of it. Scrapper, it's your turn.
I'm just snapping out of my perplexed response to what just happened. I just end up getting Zipper to try to attack it from behind again. So basically coming up to here, right next to it, and just going for a straight up hit. Not really a
Okay.
grab at this time, because that's
So
obviously not working.
Difficulty 5.
No. Okay.
Zipper does not connect. And yourself?
Yep, I'm gonna pretty much just do a straight up shot with. I'll go with 2 points of effort this time around.
Mhm.
So that'll bring it down. That'll bring it down 3 steps with my skill with attacks.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it's
My
not
roll
quite going to cut it.
not going well now.
Well,
No,
look on the
we've had-
bright side. At least your last 2 rolls put together are over 4.
The captain's going to come through and try and kick this guy off the ship, but it's not going to work. He's going to come in with the club and just sort of hang back, waiting for his moment. Elendar, it's your turn. This guy's now climbed most of the way out the side of the ship.
Cool. Crisis averted. The ship's no longer going to crash. I kind of don't want to leave this guy alone on the ship. There is still a loaded harpoon gun, so fast step back to the harpoon gun.
Okay. You may fire.
Yes, firing time.
So to line that up, because you're still a bit woozy from the fast step. Well, this guy's pretty stationary, but you're a bit woozy, so it'll be a difficulty 5 still.
Gonna speed effort on that. Speed effort of only 1.
Mm-hmm. So difficulty 4.
Again, this is one of those things where I lose more points from my pools by spending effort than I actually get hit with.
It's much more fun that way.
It is much
Yeah.
more fun that way.
Okay,
Especially when I keep rolling lucky. A
That's
12, I think,
12.
was enough.
Yeah, it's
12 is
difficulty
enough.
4. It's enough. So that effort made it worthwhile.
So the harpoon sails true and gets this guy as he's on the side there. He was really in bad shape anyway, So that marks the second of these dudes you've managed to harpoon successfully. It's just that one was much more of a conventional harpooning.
Yes.
Okay, so that's your turn. This guy's seeing the way the wind's going, and he's just going to sprint and try and jump for that cable. And so he jumps off into the water. Scrap, I'll let you have an attack of opportunity from Zipper.
Okay. Come on, Zipper. Bloody hell. 3. What is going on with my rolls?
And this guy grabs the trailing cable and hauls himself rather quickly up onto the ship because he's a bit more agile, even though his wings are broken. Blargs, it's your turn.
I'm just going to try and climb back up onto the submachine.
Okay, you climb your way back up. Unfortunately, the climb doesn't let you do anything else.
Yep. Better that than
Scrappy.
being stuck in the ocean.
Scrappy,
Better
your
that.
turn.
Can I still shoot it from where I am?
You can try, certainly. That'll be a difficulty 5.
Okay. I'll do, yeah, 2 points of effort again, plus the skill, so bring it down by 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, difficulty 2, and I better not frickin' miss this one. Oh my god. I rolled a 1. No, hell with it. I'm expanding it. 10. That's enough.
That's a bit better.
Bloody hell, what is with my rolls now? So before I was getting a couple 20s, like now it's like...
Yep. So that's that second roll is enough to connect with it. So that's 4 points of damage.
Yep.
Okay. The captain and the first mate aren't going to do anything because they're licking their wounds a little bit. Storchy's, sort of looking at the captain, making sure he's okay. Elendar, it's your turn.
So, even though I knocked the entire box of harpoons off the ship, I still have one left in my hand.
That's correct.
Can I reload the harpoon gun and fire in the same turn?
Because you've now had a couple of successful shots with the harpoon, you've sort of worked out how to load it, so I'm going to let you do it.
Nice. In the interest of being awesome, I'm gonna spend another point of effort for speed. And please, I want to kill this sucker. Maybe not with that.
Okay. That's not unfortunately going to connect. The harpoon sails wide, and you see this guy sort of turn around and look at you. And sorry, my phone's just ringing.
Yeah, I can hear that.
I'll call him back in a minute. The harpoon sort of sails wide and goes past this guy, and he sort of turns around. And Elendar, you catch a look in his eyes, and he suddenly looks very intent on something. You see him run over to a control surface on on the ship, and Scrappy, you can sort of make out what he's doing from here. I'll get you to do an intellect roll, Scrappy, to work out what he's doing.
Okay, 1 point of effort into for that one. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm too woozy from being on the ship, I guess.
Okay, Elendar, I'll let you make an intellect roll too, because this is probably pretty obvious what he's doing if you can see it well enough.
But I definitely know it's a machine he's trying to operate, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay, with that, you can see he's going for something that looks like a self-destruct on the ship.
With that roll, would I know if the self-destruct would be powerful enough to affect the Deshin as well?
You can't really tell from that, no, but you think this guy's going for it, and he's pretty close to operating it.
Well, crap.
Largs, it's your turn.
Oh dear. I can't close that distance, can I?
No.
Not directly, no. You could throw something.
I could. Hmm.
You can't throw the captain.
I can't throw the captain. You're right, but there's always the fastball special. Hey, Scrapper, how willing are you to trust in my throwing for a friend of yours?
You're not. Well, what, Allender, what is that it's you trying to use?
Something very, very bad that's likely to explode. I don't know.
Oh.
It looks big. Hurry up, please.
How far can he throw him?
Yeah, actually, that's a good question.
Because I don't know if he can
Probably,
throw that distance. That's a pretty long distance, and it's a large robot. I don't know if you can do it.
Alright, to hit that, at a base difficulty, if you want to get the guy, like if you want to pretty much throw the robot at the guy with the ability for the robot to like hit him, to land on him, that'll be a difficulty 7 because it's a big throw. Yeah, and you don't get to yeah.
If you fail this, I'm gonna hate you.
I don't trust my rolls enough for this.
It's like, no, just if you're feeling slightly not confident, don't.
It's not
He's already
saying
hurt.
your robot's not necessarily gonna like fall and sink. It's actually a bit more buoyant than the rest of the guys, but depending on how well it goes.
Damaged, though. He's already damaged too. I'm worried he's short out.
Okay, so I still have a dagger that I just have for funsies. Can I throw that? I assume I can. I don't know what
can
the rules
throw
for
the
throwing
dagger.
weapons are. It is only a light weapon, but I have no skills in throwing.
Okay, so to hit him from there, it's a long throw, so that's a difficulty 6.
It's better than nothing. And this
Isn't
one
it
won't
better than
result
nothing?
in someone being in the water if you fail.
It might end up with me missing and hitting somebody else with a dagger, though. Not that this is going to do much damage because it's a light weapon, but still.
Well, thankfully,
Point
most
it out
of
into
everyone
it.
is behind you.
Oh, for Christ's sake!
Another one? See, I'm glad you didn't throw Zipper now.
Yeah, probably for the best.
Yeah,
How? God damn it, RN Jesus.
he cuts himself with the dagger as he tries to throw it.
I've failed it every other time I've attempted to reroll, so whatever, I will just accept what the fates give me.
Okay, so you go to throw, but because you've been beaten up a bit, and because I'm just going to keep going back to this well because it's funny, you throw, you overbalance it, you fall in the water again.
Oh, that is mean.
Stay out of the water!
Assume this means I drop my dagger.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dagger sort of clatters off on the deck somewhere. It's nowhere near.
Better that than the water, that's fine.
Scrapper, it's your turn.
The funny thing was, he's the most versed in traveling on the ship right now, and he did that.
He got
Twice now.
overconfident.
Okay, so I'm guessing the device is pretty much here now, like that it's trying to use.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm not going to get a clear shot from here, which means I'm going to have to move and try the buzzer, I think. So how far? So how far can I move to, like before and be able to shoot the buzzer?
Probably to about there.
Because what I want to try to do is hit that thing's control panel to disable it. But if I can't get a clear shot, that's probably not going to happen.
Well, the control panel's still, but you're on bobbing ships, probably difficulty 4.
Okay. Uh, fuck it. I'm gonna 3 points of effort this one.
Okay, so what's that bring it down to?
Well, it's basically down 4 steps with ranged attack and three
Down
points
four
of
steps.
effort.
Okay, so this is a guaranteed shot. You bring around the buzzer and take a second to steady yourself after all and you fire forward. The control panel in front of this guy erupts in a bunch of sparks that spark up into its face, and it sort of is distracted for a minute, and then looks around at all of you, and you can see it's contemplating its options. It wanted to destroy the ship so you couldn't get any of its technology, but it's not going to surrender either. So this guy runs towards the edge and jumps overboard into the water. And you see him sink to the depths. You don't see this guy necessarily die. He could have swum away, but he's certainly gone.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna get Zipper to help
Guys,
Blargs out of the water.
how do I stop the ship?
Controls are usually there to direct it.
I think you just
Maybe
shot
go
the
to the front.
control.
The controls have just been shot.
Yeah, well, it's not gonna collide with the ship anymore, right? At its current
No.
trajectory.
No.
But there might be some good pickings on the ship.
Hmm.
What
I
I
could jump.
might
I could try
do,
jumping on and repairing it.
what I might do is I might leave the problem of the drifting ship until the next session, just because there's a couple of things
Right.
you could probably do there.
Yeah. I think jumping onto the ship to try to fix it, because it's really close now. I could probably make the jump.
Yeah, you can probably almost step to it as a pretty easy thing, but we'll leave that as a problem for next time.
All right.